Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Look Forward. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Brad.
It's really tough for me out in the world today, Jay. I got to tell you, we've got people promising jobs to minorities and women. What are white men supposed to do, Jay? We're behind the eight ball. We've got no advantages in life right now. It is so difficult to be a white man out here in 2022.
Look,
the year of our Lord.
of your white lord. Well, Brad, here's the thing. This past week, Joe Biden wrecked your plans as being the next unqualified white man to enter the Supreme Court as a judge. That last spot was taken by Brett Kavanaugh. Actually, he was qualified. He just happened to be a drunk rapist. But whatever. Like we're not really testing anything anymore. Who gives a shit? Yeah, so let's jump right into it. I think the show is just a minute in, but I'm going to go with banner week for Republican idiocy and just general stupidity coming from the Republican Party. So
I gotta say, we've watched this party contort themselves in lots of insane directions especially over the past several years, like a slew of hypocritical stances.
Yeah.
Just for some reason, this week is standing out above many of the others because, as we talked about last week with the SCOTUS pick, the stakes are so low.
Right. Like they don't actually matter at all.
There are literally zero stakes. And you're still choosing dumbassery.
Yeah.
All right. That certainly is a plan.
Look, but, you had your thought and I went along with you stupidly. That surely Republicans, this would be a slam dunk. They could pretend to just go along to get along. They don't change any dynamics of the court. Everything is fine.
Yeah, but won't somebody think of the poor white men?
Yes,
or white, the angle that we're going with.
White people in general, because
people in general.
They're pulling in white women too. Oh, you're with us right now until you say we're bad, and then we'll throw you aside again. That's what happens over and over again. So yeah, look, I'm of two minds of this, right? So give a little bit of background here. Biden, during the primary campaign, was like, yo, if I'm president, guess what? Bam, black people, you're welcome. First black woman on the Supreme Court. Spoiler alert, this is really, one, I think it's a historical moment, but I also really need to get forgiveness for what I did to Anita Hill because I was a real piece of shit during that Clarence Thomas thing. If you think that doesn't have anything to do with it, you're very wrong. My argument is, why don't you just put Anita Hill on the fucking Supreme Court? That shit would be awesome. Just to sit next to
Anita Hill actually be qualified to be a
she's a lawyer. She's a lawyer. Fuck it. You put anyone on there.
I don't know her bona fide is. It would be abjectly hilarious for her to be on the Supreme Court with Clarence Thomas.
I just want her, if only for her to serve one case and sit next to that prick and be like, what's up, dude? What's going on?
Hey, Clarence. You want a soda?
Yeah. Hey, here's a Coke. Here's a can of Coke, you fucking asshole. What are those on there? Oh, they're your pubes. I saved them, you fucking disgusting monster. Incidentally, how is that hot? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? This will make a girl like me? What? You're a creep. And I 100% believe Anita Hill on that forever. So yeah, I think it's also his own personal, him trying to make up for what he did, because that's a very huge blemish on his record, rightfully so. And so I think he's trying to look, I'm trying to do the right thing. I've grown, also politically, this just looks really good for me, type of thing, right? Got no problem with that. That's all fine and good. Here's where I'm of two minds. I kind of wish he hadn't said it before being elected. I wouldn't have said anything. I would have been like, I'm going to look at, and this is why. I would have just been like, maybe I'll just, I don't know. I'm just going to look for the most qualified person. I feel like we don't have enough women on the court. That's what I'll say. And I just left it at that, right? Done and done. But because he says a black woman, again, I don't have any problem with the outcome because we are far overdue Like, it is insane how overdue we are for a black woman to be on the Supreme Court. So I don't have any problem with that. So of one mind, I'm like, just not to give Republicans fodder. That's my issue. Not to be like ashamed of it or whatever. Just not to give them fodder going into it. But again, here's my other side. It doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I vehemently disagree with that. Like, I would be more offended if Joe Biden did what the Republicans did in 2016 and telegraph putting someone on the Supreme Court based on ideological considerations. Like, that to me is far more egregious than representation.
Right, because it doesn't mean, obviously, look, let's get real. Like, part of that, on its face, I agree with you. But, like, in reality, we don't live in an era where a Republican president's ever going to not pick someone from the Heritage Foundation
no, that's fine. But when you're openly like advertising that's what you're doing, and actually forget 2016, like Trump did it in 2018 or 2020 as well. Like Ginsburg died during the campaign, so he was absolutely campaigning on, we're going to appoint a justice that that'll overturn Roe, and I'm just like, that's you're completely undermining the legitimacy of the institution when you do that.
So yeah, I don't expect a conservative president to not put someone on extremely conservative. I don't expect a Democrat to put on someone who isn't center left, right? Center or center left, right? And you can say whatever you want about modern Democrats is they hate whatever, they hate liberals, whatever. Everyone they've put on the court has been a person who is center left. All of them. None of them are like hyper corporate centrists. They're not. Like, I guess you could look at like some of Elaine Keegan's things before she went on SCOTUS, but you can't make an argument on the SCOTUS. Like, you can't. She's center left, dude. Like, they have solidly center left people. It's not even a question. That's why we always know where the vote's going to land, right? We don't have to, is Ruth Bader Ginsburg going to be in the middle? No, dude, she's not. She's going to be on the left.
Which again is why I fucking balk at all the people that clutch the pearls about. Oh, we shouldn't talk about the court as if it's a political institution. I'm like, it is. Like it's always been. Can we stop pretending that it's not, please?
Right. I mean, the only thing that is actually the most interesting about the court, at least back in the day, historically, the court was interesting that judges would become more and more liberal over time, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it was kind of an interesting thing. Now they're just born, like, Republican nominees are just born in a soup of like the Heritage Foundation and all this other right-wing shit, that they're just drilled into that from the time they decide to take the bar all the way until they're a judge, that they're not actually impartial in any way, right? And look, say what you will, I'm sure people would say, well, the same with the left, but the left doesn't actually have that ground up building like that. They don't. Should they? Maybe, probably, right? They'd have more people ready for the bench. But generally, we don't know the names of the potential people to get nominated to the bench until right when it happens. Republicans are like, we got 5 people. They've been waiting. Like, they're just standing in line, like, who's going to die first? Like, they already know because they are built. They are built for that position. Like, that is all they're designed to do. So I'm of one mind of, maybe you shouldn't have said it, right? But the other mind is, it doesn't really matter. The second you say it anyway, they're going to act like fucking dickheads, right?
Yeah.
Which is what we've seen this week. And that second mind is definitely the larger portion of where I lean. It's like, at this point, it's like 95-5, right? Especially because of Republican behavior. But it reminds me of a quote that I had to verify because I knew the quote. I could paraphrase the quote, but I needed to get the direct quote, and I verified it in 2 different places before I say this. This is a very real quote, and it is important.
You didn't want to misquote Voltaire like Thomas Massey did earlier.
Right, I saw that fucking tweet. Like, dude, no, Voltaire didn't say that. You dickhead. Some dude like 4 months ago on Twitter. Calm down. Like, some conservative asshole. No, this is a quote from friend of the show, the ghost of Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon Johnson, when he was president and decided, I'm going to put a Negro on the court. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Thurgood Marshall on the court. He was quoted as saying, his words, not mine, son, when I appoint a nigger to the bench, I want everybody to know he's a nigger. End of quote. Lyndon Johnson, liberal, civil rights hero, also a racist. Also a racist. He was, dude. He was. He's the greatest liberal racist there's ever been.
By the way, speaking of LBJ, since you brought it up, and the appointment of Thurgood Marshall specifically, did you know there's an interesting backstory behind that Michael Beschloss touched on this week?
Go for it.
So
maybe
apparently,
I know what you're talking about.
He really wanted to appoint Thurgood Marshall. Did LBJ, so much so that he basically took his AG position that he had in his administration, dangled it in front of the son of one of the sitting Supreme Court justices that was getting ready to retire, and is like, hey, if you can convince your dad to retire from SCOTUS, I'll make you AG. The son did it. I don't remember the son's name. That was LBJ's first AG. But the kicker to the story, LBJ was so disappointed in his character that he actually would try to kick his dad off, that he froze the guy out basically of his administration for doing exactly what he asked him to do.
Wow. You're a real piece of shit for listening to me. Wait, what? Easily corruptible. You're done. Dude.
You can be here, but I'm not going to talk to you.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. You sniveling bastard. Dude, I did what you said. Yeah, but you shouldn't have. Yeah, but you shouldn't have. Can I trust you? Absolutely not.
You should just let your old man die like the rest of us.
Idiot. Dude, LBJ was a shrewd dude, man. He was. Again,
he was.
But his point, how as colorful of language as it was, his point is, if I'm going to put a black person on the bench, fuck that. I'm going to put the blackest dude I can find. And to me,
I mean, it just so happened that Thurgood Marshall was also immensely qualified to sit on the stage.
Well, he was immensely qualified, but he also I know, the vast majority of people who know anything about politics know him from, Brown versus Board of Education. He argued and won that at the Supreme Court. So it's kind of all right, well, this dude must be pretty smart, I guess. Right. But at the same time, yeah, that's an incredibly important case. Duh. But the other part is that dude was driving around this country kicking the teeth out of people on small civil rights cases. That's where he shoe leather fucking lawyer type of shit. And he went into dangerous parts of this country in the South and shit like that, and was just kicking ass and taking names legally. And if you watch that movie Marshall, quite literally, they weirdly had him in bar fights and shit. I was like, why is he a superhero in this? Oh, Chadwick Boseman is playing him. Okay, that makes sense. So it's interesting, right? He wasn't just qualified because of that case. He also was this in the minds of racists. He was notorious, which I think is more of Johnson's point. If I put a black man on it, I want to be a black guy you guys fucking hate. And it was all right, Thurgood Marshall, he's qualified, and you fucking pieces of shit hate this guy. Perfect choice. And look, to me, I kind of feel that's where Biden should go, right? I don't need you to say that quote, Joe. Relax. But I need that kind of oh, you're mad a black woman is going to be on the court? Well, the one woman that everybody is pushing up, we talked about her last week, she's went after Trump directly and wrote a 100-page, basically decision saying presidents aren't kings. That's the person that you pick. Someone who is really throwing it in the face of Trumpism and stuff like that. If you're going to put a black woman on the court, put somebody who is forceful and tough. That's what you do. Someone who conservatives are fuck, I hate that person. Good. And there's nothing you can do to stop her getting on the SCOTUS. Nothing. That's the attitude. Again, Joe, I don't need you to use the quote. but I need you. I need that same strength. Again, LBJ, I need you to relax. Like, just calm down.
But yeah, Republicans freaking the fuck out about this right now. Let's see. Ted Cruz called the announcement offensive when Joe Biden made it, which is weird. He's saying because Joe Biden is nominating a black woman who make up 6% of the country, that the president somehow doesn't care about 94% of Americans. Which is funny because I would say the same about literally any. You can make that argument about any choice
ever,
because
what the fuck does that mean?
There is no single group that makes up a majority of people in the country. Like, there's a plurality of white women, but I think that's about it.
Right, like, and it's so silly, right? Well, they only make up 6% of the population. So what? So what? So what?
Oh, you know what I'm hearing there? So like, obviously Ted Cruz is that's a very actually progressive stance by Ted Cruz that he's making there, because what he's saying is that the Supreme Court should match up the demographics of the country exactly. So what I hear Ted Cruz saying is that we should expand the court to have like 30 justices on it. And then that way, when we have two black women, that way they're representing the same amount of the population.
That's fine.
As they represent. So, okay, cool. Bet. Let Joe Biden appoint 20 Supreme Court justices.
That's fine. Good. He can put as many white people.
We'll make whatever race and gender you want.
Right. You can put on as many center-left white people as you want. I don't give a shit. Just run the numbers up, Joe. We did it, Joe. But like... So, like, to me, it's a silly argument. It's also, I mean, at its base, and base is exactly the right word here. It's just bigoted. Like, their idea of like, how could you choose a black woman to be on the Supreme Court? Because they're black women federal judges and they're fucking smart. Like, who do you think they picking, dude? A judge from TV? The fuck are you talking about?
Ted Cruz also said, literally in an interview, if you're a white guy in this country, I guess you're out of luck. Like, really? Like that's your fucking stance? Is if you're a white guy for SCOTUS, I guess you're out of luck? I guess his eyes were closed and he didn't see the 5 dudes that are already up there.
Or the 108 previous white men? Or the decades upon decades upon decades upon centuries, like, of just white men. Not even white women until Reagan. Just white dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess if you weren't a white man during Chester A. Arthur's reign, I guess you're fucked. What are you talking about, dude? Also, you're Latin. Stop pretending to be just a white guy. You're Latin, dude. You're from fucking Cuba. By way of Canada. But you're fucking Latin. Get the fuck out of here. You as a Latin man, I know he loves to pretend, no, Ted's my name. No, it's not. Knock it off. But, like, you don't want to see people who look like you representing, like, who have, fought and died for this country. You don't want to see those people represented on the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court should look like a fucking Benetton ad. That's what it should look like. I'm not even interested in it should represent the exact percentages of this country, because that's incredibly lopsided anyway. It should represent the country. Why aren't there at least one Native American person, man or woman, on the Supreme Court? That should have been fucking mandated from the jump. Like, we get at least one Supreme Court vote. Jesus Christ. You're just destroying our people. All right, we'll give you one. Like, we get it.
Really, the way they used to assign Supreme Court justices should be probably followed more so. That we don't really get to see anymore. Because the way that they used to do it used to be based on the number of federal judiciary districts that existed within the country. Right. And you would basically pick a judge from each district to be on the court. So, like, you'd have, like, the Northeast judge and the Southeast judge and the Midwest judge and the West Coast. Like, so, like, that's how they did it for literally, like, the first 150 years or so that the country existed.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't know that I would be particularly upset by it. Like, that's also fine. Right?
I mean, it's better than how it's being done right now, where, like you said, they're literally growing Republican justices in test tubes, and
that's all they do,
and just rifling them towards the bench.
Yeah, it's like just keep going. Look, you'll get on the federal bench. We can guarantee that. We don't know about the SCOTUS, but we're gonna just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Whichever one of you is the shittiest, that's the one they'll pick. So yeah, look, I'm not impressed by the sort of hypocritical nature of it. How could they possibly pick a black woman? Yeah, black women are smart too. What the fuck kind of response is that? Like, to me, if I'm a black woman in Congress, I'm going to walk right up to Ted Cruz and be like, yo, what the fuck is your problem? Mm-hmm. Yo, seriously, what the fuck? You think I'm not qualified to be here, but you're qualified to be here? And look, Ted Cruz isn't an idiot. And what pisses me off about Ted Cruz continually every week, besides his face, is like, Ted Cruz is not a dumb person. Ted Cruz argued cases in front of the Supreme Court. Ted Cruz knows that it is just as legitimate that there are black federal judges, black women federal judges who deserve to be on the court. He knows that. He knows his base is a bunch of racist, dumb bigots, so he says any wild shit. But he would never, in like normal company, be like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't a black woman? Like, he's not an idiot. Like, people are like, oh, fuck that guy. He's a dummy. He's not dumb. He knows that his base is dumb, which is the problem, is that these guys will play to these dumb-ass people that are just bigots, and they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it
honestly, I'm surprised that he has any free time at all right now. I figured he'd be getting ready to pack his bags for his annual Cancun trip.
Well, it's getting cold in Texas.
It's about to go. They're about to have a fucking ice storm this weekend.
Dude, did you hear what?
Out of Dodge, Ted.
Just a side note. Yeah, of course. Hey, peace. Did you hear what Greg Abbott said today?
Yes, I did.
About the crypto shit?
I did. Yes.
Dude, he was literally asking crypto miners in Texas, like, if we start going down, if the grid starts going down, could you guys just like pause on the crypto? What?
Yeah. Whereas 2 months ago, he's like, don't worry, like power's gonna be fine. And he's like, I know I said that, but we're not actually sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, dude. If that happens for a second year in a row, how did they not ride that dude out of town on a fucking rail at that point?
Don't mess with Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. I don't know. I mean, pick a general useless fucking motto that Texas pushes that will just somehow dismiss like actual logic and reason, because that's what they do. We're tough. We'll figure it out. People freezing. They're probably cucks.
After last year, if you didn't do what you needed to do to reinforce the grid to make sure that you don't lose power again during another ice storm, how the fuck are you in government at that point anymore? Anyone involved? All of you.
How about this?
Done.
How about this?
Done.
Just connect to the federal grid.
Well, that.
Like, it's not, dude. Set it up as a backup, for God's sake. Set it up as a backup.
Maybe stop being so fucking Texas about everything. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
But
Texas Roadhouse of fuckery. There you go.
What the fuck do we know? So,
like, you know what I know?
While we sit in our fucking warm house,
right. You know what I know? The heat works here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be hooked up to some federal cuck grid. All right, all right, dude. Good luck. I mean, were you going to just suck on the tailpipe of your Ford when you get cold? Like, what are you doing?
Enjoy not bathing for a week because your pipes are frozen. So.
Or dying because people fucking died. Like, it, again, you're right. How did they not run him out on a rail? I don't get it. Look, man, I'm not from a conservative state. I don't know what it's like to just eat dick of the politician who treats me like garbage. I just don't. I'm not a Republican. I just don't. Sorry. Hey, Democrats being a piece of shit? Cool. Vote them out, dude. I don't give a fuck. I don't have that loyalty.
Is kind of cool. That is kind of cool how we have a state legislature that gets to flip a giant middle finger in the face of our Republican governor on the regular. So yeah, I'm going to veto this. Cool. We'll fucking override
Good luck.
Good luck, asshole. Have a good day. Yeah. Dipshit.
Oh, did you do it? Oh, that's cute. Boom. Fuck out of here. Like, good. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know what it's like to just like let a politician who was actively doing not like look, Democrats have plenty of issues in Maryland where we are, like, no doubt about it, like a lot of bullshit, right? But they're not going to be like, oh, are people dying in their homes because we didn't hook up to the federal grid that we could easily like get off our duffs and do? Oh, we didn't do it? Oh, no, you guys going to vote for us again? All right, cool. Like, that just would never happen here. Like, Democrats would be like, yo, my aunt died. Like, you're done. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're not going to just hang out here and just keep your job. But that's not how Republican states are. It's kind of amazing. Yeah, so Greg Abbott. Good luck this. Look, not even Greg Abbott. Fuck that guy. Texans who are not psychos, good luck, man. I hope everybody is okay. Like, I don't wish that shit on anybody, even conservatives. Like, I don't wish an ice storm fucking drops your grid so everybody's freezing. That's fucking horrible. How about you guys vote for people who are not morons? Just an idea.
I mean, it's Texas, so it's literally impossible for them to avoid it.
Well, yeah.
we have so many examples.
Yeah. George W. Bush, the dumb George W. Bush in what's his face? Who got a C in meats? What's his name?
Rick Perry.
Rick Perry, that's it. Shot
Louis
a coyote.
Gilbert, Dan Crenshaw.
Fucking hell. Ron
Ted
Paul.
Cruz.
Ron Paul.
Yep. They just keep on coming.
Is that guy still alive? He's still alive.
Ron Paul is still alive, yes.
That's unfortunate. Can't win them all. Anyway,
like I said, he continues to be useless even in his old age. So stealing oxygen from the rest of us.
I didn't write those letters. You just posted them on your website. Cool. Well, I didn't read them. That's interesting. Okay. I will never forgive white liberals for fucking riding for that asshole for that year he ran for president. Oh, he's not that bad. I was like, how do you not see this? How do you not just
white liberals?
Dude, a lot of them. Are you
sure you're not talking about white leftists? Because that's not.
All right. Okay. Fine. That's the correct distinction. Yes, a lot of your rose Twittery folks. Yeah, go back in their history. Big Ron Paul fans. For a minute. Well, absolutely. Again,
it's a horseshoe.
Yep. It sure is. Cornucopia of fucking bullshit. I want to play a clip of Press Secretary Jen Psaki. This is not her ripping the heart out of Steve Doocy or Peter Doocy as she normally does. She took a vacation from making Peter Doocy feel like less than a man, and decided to take her aim at one Ted Cruz over this Supreme Court nominee thing. And it's pretty glorious. I like Jen Psaki a lot. I think she's really good at her job. All right, here you go.
Back. Following up on the Supreme Court decision, a number of Republicans, as you know, and as you've been asked about, have spoken out about the president's pledge to pick a black woman for the high court. How do you respond specifically to Ted Cruz, who overnight called it offensive to black women that would make that pledge?
Well, here's what I would...
Pause. It's offensive to black women? Nah, yo, hold on a second.
Wait, that's what Ted Cruz said?
That's what she said. That's what she said. He said, right?
That can't be true.
There is no. Oh, I 100% believe that he said that. Absolutely. Because that idea, I'm referring to Ted Cruz as white because he would refer to himself as white. That idea of black people being offended that we're being given a chance is the biggest bullshit conservative white trope. They love pushing it. Well, black women would be offended that he would choose one of them over one of us. Surely that's no, black women are not offended by this. Don't speak for black women. That's bullshit. Don't do that.
Oh, actually, yeah. He's also saying it's actually an insult to black women. If he came and said, I'm going to put the best jurist on the court, and he looked at a number of people and he ended up nominating a black woman, he could credibly say, okay, I'm nominating the person who's most qualified. He's not even pretending to say that. He's saying, if you're a white guy, tough luck. If you're a white woman, tough luck. You don't qualify.
Incidentally, that shows how much of a piece of shit Ted Cruz is. Notice he didn't mention anyone else. If you're a white guy, tough luck. If you're a white woman, tough luck. As if there's only white men, white women, and black women. That's it. There are no other groups that matter. That goes to show you he is not interested in actually talking about the best qualified person. He's interested in talking about the best qualified white person.
Well, he might have a better view of the country if he actually spent any time outside of Washington, D.C. and maybe, I don't know, the state where he resides in.
How about go to Houston for 5 minutes, dude? Get the fuck out. He ain't going down there. Too brown. All right. Let's watch Jen Psaki rip further into Ted Cruz's ass.
First, just over a year ago, the previous president also promised to select a woman for the Supreme Court. Not only were there no complaints about choosing a nominee from a specific demographic from the same corners, but there was widespread praise of now Justice Barrett on those grounds, with Republican lawmakers widely highlighting that they thought this was positive for women in America. So take Senator Cruz himself. He had no objection to Donald Trump promising he'd nominate a woman in 2020. Repeat, no objection at all. In fact, he praised her on these grounds. The nominee. During her confirmation hearing, Senator Cruz said, quote, "I think you're an amazing role model for little girls. What advice would you give little girls?" When President Reagan honored his campaign pledge to place the first woman on the court, he said it symbolized the unique American opportunity. There is no outcry around that. The president's view is that after 230 years of the Supreme Court being in existence, the fact that not a single black woman has served on the Supreme Court is a failure in the process, not a failure or a lack of qualified black women to serve as Supreme Court justice.
Boom. There you go. Simple as that. Like you're making, ironically, conservatives are making Democrats' argument for them, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you're not looking at the most qualified people. Oh, so you're telling me that the most qualified people for 236 years has always been white men up until the 80s. Yeah. Really? It was? Okay, cool. And even past the 80s, right? It's mostly just white dudes then, too. Even then? No? Because, like, I know, like, black people weren't really given a chance. Like, white people didn't really think we, like, existed intellectually until, like, 1980. But even then, after that, you still couldn't find the vast majority of them not being anything but white men. Interesting. Okay. Fuck Ted Cruz is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Every week.
Well,
every week.
He's a fucking dummy. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I just don't understand why Republicans are even bothering to twist themselves into knots.
They can't help themselves. They can't, dude. They can't.
It logically doesn't make any sense.
They're not about logic, Brad.
I know.
Racism isn't about logic. Racism lives in the base of your dumb
saying
that
a black Supreme Court justice is going to be like an affirmative action hire. Like, really, that's the language you're going to use to talk about this?
Yeah. Oh, you wait until that confirmation hearing starts. It's going to be wild because these motherfuckers going to say all sorts of wild dirtbag shit. And the second that black woman is in front of them, much like every other racist coward, they're going to be like, "Oh, well, thank you for coming. You're very nice. You're very qualified." Like, that's all they'll do because they're fucking cowards. They're fucking cowards. And she can't say anything. Right? She's got to be fucking poised and shit like that. And meanwhile, behind her eyes, she's thinking, "I'd love to stab each and every one of you motherfuckers that I saw all of your interviews on CNN. Fuck you." But yeah, they'll all be, "Oh, well, everything's fine. I think there was a lot of controversy, but clearly you're amazing." Right. Why don't you just stop acting like a bunch of dickheads in the beginning and just move straight to the normal shit? They can't help themselves because at their core, they have to appeal to their racist base. Whether they agree with it personally or not, they feel they have to. Ted Cruz is going to come out and be like, "Look, whoever it is, they're going to be fucking too liberal." Just stick with that line. Just stick with that line, dude.
I feel like that would have been a lot safer.
Yeah. I mean, they're basically, at this point, they are dying to say, "How's this nigga going to be qualified to be on the Supreme Court?" Yo, Joe Kennedy today said, "Well, no, I don't support having this person on the Supreme Court because I need a judge who can tell the difference between like the law and a J. Crew magazine."
What?
Yeah, dude, it was like,
the fuck is that even supposed to mean?
Hold on, let me find the quote. It's a wild quote. Yo, Joe Kennedy is an asshole. I hate that you even have that name. Joe Kennedy, what did he say? SCOTUS. Like it was some wild shit.
It fucking kills me that none of these assholes have to pay a price for any of this shit.
No.
Like it's
Fuck
it's
no, they
insane.
never do. Oh, excuse me, John Kennedy, not Joe Kennedy. John Kennedy, not Joe Kennedy. Jesus, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I was about to say, it seems an odd thing for Joe Kennedy to say.
Fuck that lady. Like, dude, you're liberal. Like, you're super liberal. Sorry, John Kennedy. John Kennedy says today, asked if he was like, hey, are you cool with this or whatever? He goes, number one, I want a nominee who knows a law book from a J. Crew catalog. Number two, I want a nominee who's not going to try to rewrite the Constitution every other Thursday to try to advance, quote, a woke agenda.
So you're fine with them rewriting the Constitution to advance a conservative agenda, but just not a woke agenda, apparently.
Duh.
Yeah.
Hello.
And what is a woke agenda, John Kennedy?
Anything you blacks want. That's it. Like, hard
go.
stop. That's the end of it.
Where's the J. Crew catalog part of it coming from? Like, is there some like weird J. Crew? Like,
Does he think that J. Crew is a rapper like Jay-Z? Does he like?
wow, I wonder. I honestly, I wonder if that's like where he's coming from there.
But he said catalog, so he knows
That's
it's like
true.
a clothes. But does he think it's like a homeboy like clothing? But he's like a rich white guy. He knows what J. Crew is, right?
He's
He has
got
to know,
right? I would.
He's
assume
got
so.
a J. Crew fucking.
But I'm like that line is just
polo shirt.
mystifying. Like I don't even understand what he's
Like, what's
insinuating.
the point?
Yeah.
I think, and look, this is a far fetched reasoning, but I think that John Kennedy might be a fucking moron. Wild stab in the dark. So wild stab in the dark, dude. I don't know. Guy seems like a bit of a dickhead. So, yeah. So, all right, cool. White people, totally fine. Black woman, get the fuck out of here. Absolutely not. And by the way, whoever he picks, whatever black woman he picks for Supreme Court, I'm sure they will be absolutely incredibly qualified. No doubt about it. I hope that if they don't have their hair natural, I hope the second they get on the fucking bench, they're like, fuck this, all fucking natural. I hope they rock a fucking black leather jacket and a goddamn afro every day to the fucking SCOTUS. Every single day. I would love it. I would love it. Fuck it. Put Michelle Obama on there. Make conservatives go insane. Oh my God. Dude, like their heads would quite literally explode. It would be kind of awesome.
I know. It would be hilarious.
She's qualified. She's a high-powered lawyer. She knows what you're talking about. Actually, don't do that to that woman. I like Michelle Obama. She don't need.
I don't think she would want to. Be like, hey, we're
Fuck
thinking
no.
about it. She's like, please don't.
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Yeah, white people like to push her up as like, we should nominate. I remember Michael Moore was like, we should nominate Michelle Obama for president. She was like, leave me the fuck out of this.
Like, I don't
hate
want to be
politics.
here to begin with.
Yeah. You know, I'm still mad at Barack for having me there for fucking 8 years. I hate you people, you know? And she hates Ted Cruz. So, no thanks.
I mean,
all right.
so does most of the Senate, if you're to believe, you know.
Was it Lindsey?
anyone
Was it
in the
Lindsey
Senate.
Graham?
Yeah, you can kill Ted Cruz. on the
You
floor
can
of the
kill Ted
Senate
Cruz
and
in
try
the
and
Senate?
try it in the Senate, and he'd be acquitted. So
You know, people are like, fuck that guy, and he's in my party. God damn, brutal, man. I see. That's the Lindsey Graham I miss. Like
he's
a
actually
sniveling
been-
asshole,
he's actually
but
been
like,
cool this week.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
actually been cool this week.
I'm telling you, every time a SCOTUS nominee comes up for Democrats, he gets on his ah!
I don't know if you saw
No.
this transcends nicely into the next story we're going to talk about. Trump called him a rhino today.
Brilliant helps you see.
Oh, really?
He did. Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Because of his comments on Trump's comments about January 6th.
Yeah. Well, everyone's a rhino, I guess, because Trump's comments are fucking insane. So basically, Trump is like, look, all these Republicans are like, well, John Cornyn says, quote, I just think people who broke the law on January 6th need to be held accountable. Period. Completely reasonable statement, by the way. Completely reasonable. Even though I think John Cornyn is an unreasonable person, that's a reasonable statement. I give him his props there. Lisa Murkowski, moderately reasonable Republican. Quote, those people that came into the building, defiled the place, threatened not only the institution itself, deserve to be in jail. They don't deserve to be pardoned. Yeah, agreed. Again, totally reasonable. Trump comes out at a rally and he's like, they're treating these people from January 6th terribly. Basically, if I get back in the White House, if I have to pardon them, they'll all get pardoned. Don't worry about it. If there is ever an incentive to vote your ass off in 2022 and in 2024, that is a big one.
Oh, I would love for him to keep repeating that line on the campaign trail. That would only serve to help us.
Yeah, no, dude, people are not trying to hear that shit. Like, especially if some of these guys get nailed with sentencing before 2024 and it's public, like, oh, we gave these guys, 4x life or whatever. And it's like, I'm going to pardon these people. They're like, no, you're not. No, the fuck you're not. Fuck out of here. And you're also going to jail, you asshole. So yeah, he's saying that, look, I'll pardon these people if I have to. Again, I have to ask the question, and this might seem weird. Is it that Trump is pro-pardoning conservatives for crimes, or is Trump pro-pardoning Antifa members for crimes?
You can't
Can't be both.
Yeah, you can't throw that galaxy brain shit at them. Their head will explode like a fembot if you try to throw that paradox in their face.
Right, like, so I thought they were Antifa. They're not Antifa now? Like, because this guy says he's willing to pardon Antifa members, which feels very unconservative to me. It's almost as if they weren't Antifa and they were actual conservatives, or as the conservatives who comment on our videos, it wasn't an insurrection at all. I'm like, cool, is that why the FBI is doing what they're doing to the Oath Keepers? Not an insurrection? All right, cool, you got it. Like, you guys don't, like, what do people think an insurrection is? Like, what qualifies as an insurrection? Because if it's like guns, then like you would just move the goalpost again and be like, well, they deserved it. Like, it doesn't mean anything. I'm pretty sure, guys, it's an insurrection. So just saying. And it's certainly terrorism, if nothing else.
Yeah.
If nothing else. So yeah, Trump says he will pardon these people if need be. Again,
and not only did he say that, but he also put out that statement that was like, hey, guys, why are they trying to pass all this legislation stopping the vice president from being able to change the results of the election? And if this proves that Mike Pence does have the right, and his words, to overturn the election.
Yep.
Literally the words he used.
Except that quite literally is a terrible misinterpretation of what that law actually was.
Yes.
It's not what it is.
But again, I feel like if you're trying to say I was the legitimately elected president, you don't want to necessarily come out and admit that, yes, I was trying to overturn the election.
Yeah.
Feel like that kind of flies in the face of what you've been saying. I want to read a tweet here from Peter Baker of the New York Times, who said, old enough to remember when it would have been shocking to see a former president admit that his goal was to have overturned the election. I only say this because people rightly pointed out to Peter Baker, you work for the New York Times. I feel like if you guys really thought it was shocking, that you could have put it on the front page of your newspaper the next morning in like 96-point font.
Yeah, it should have been the only
Trump
story.
wanted to overturn election.
Yeah. But I think people know that. It's the details.
It still would
right?
be nice.
It's the details that matter in that, right? People go, Trump wanted to overturn the election. Whatever.
Yeah, it still would be nice to be able to just call attention to the fact that the former president literally said, yeah, I was trying to basically change the results.
Yeah.
Change the results of the duly results. So
yeah, the funny thing is I don't as much as I agree with you as far as like just putting a 96-point font like on the front of the fucking paper, like I don't know that it would matter. You and I would read it.
Wouldn't, but it would.
You and I would
read
nice, it, but
it would be nice for the Times to acknowledge the reality in which we live and to give things.
It's not
like
really
that
their
the
thing
weight.
anymore.
I get that. Here they are, fucking not acknowledging reality and taking away our Wordle. Bastards.
Yeah. Hey, it's gonna stay free for now.
Yeah. Initially.
I like that statement. Initially, I was like, dude, come on, it's fucking Wordle, you asshole. They're like, yeah, you got to pay. Like, everybody's got to pay for Wordle now. Well, that'll be the last time I play Wordle. Thanks.
Yes. But fuck those guys. And fuck Donald Trump. Just in general.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
That guy fucking sucks.
Yeah. So, more on that right now. Trump promises riots in major cities. This time prosecutors take him at his word. This week, Trump accused black prosecutors of attacking him because he's white. What is this guy from the fucking comment section? I love that they wrote well, white-ish. Yeah, I was like, all right, that's a fair hit. That's a fair hit.
Oh my god,
that guy looks ridiculous. And he says, look, quote, these prosecutors are vicious, horrible people. They're racist and they're very sick. They're mentally ill. They're going after me without any protection of my rights from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court doesn't give you any rights. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't make shit up, dude. Don't make shit up. That's embarrassing.
That probably is his understanding of it, though. Like, he probably still does not like understand the concept that there is a constitution and that the Supreme Courts are just the arbiters of the interpretation of the Constitution. Like, he literally thinks that the Supreme Court has some sort of like magic power that they can just, make up things, which I guess they kind of can in a way, but not in the way that he thinks.
I think that Trump thought that when he went to like Saudi Arabia and touched that orb with all the other evil villains, I think he thought like that's how the Supreme Court works. Like, they all touch the orb, and then like they're like, we imbue you with the powers of the POTUS, and he's like, thank you, SCOTUS, and it's like, it's like Captain Planet type of shit, but instead he's like a trash bag come to life. But like, I think that's what he thinks the Supreme Court works like. It's just the orb. But yeah, he's mad that these 4 black prosecutors are kicking that ass. Now, look, here's what I would say to you, America.
But here's the key line from that sentence as well. The last.
Oh yes, the last line. Go ahead.
In reality, they're not after me; they're after you.
Look, Trump is a salesman, dude. Trump is a salesman, and that is something that sells perfectly. That is the biggest thing about conservatism, is when I fuck up as president or governor or whatever, it's not about me. They're coming after you, Joe, fucking farmer who makes $30,000 a year. Those liberal black prosecutors are trying to destroy your life. Like, dude, I don't own a business and lying about like equity that I have in this building and all this other shit, or the value of these buildings. That's not me. No, Joe, it is you. They're coming after you, Joe, in your farm. They're your next. So you have to protect me. Throw your lifeless dead body in front of the bullets for me so that I am protected. And conservatives, like clockwork, they will do it. Mm-hmm. And like, you're right, that line is super powerful. In reality, they're not after me, they're after you. No, they're not. Dude, they're not coming after regular conservatives at all. These people are hitting you because you did crimes, my man. Big time, high level crimes.
Well, and again, like, this is just, this was 2016. Like, this was what he did, and that's how he got elected. And it's just the latest, now that he's been in power and was removed from power, like, this is just the latest, play out of the autocrats playbook, essentially, out of the demagogues playbook, where, it's the populist appeal.
It is. And look, I respect it, right? Like, I can respect the sleight of hand of it, right? Like, I kind of respect that. But it's dangerous, right? It's dangerous to tell gullible people, and I'll say gullible, not necessarily stupid, but gullible people. Some of them are stupid.
You'll say gullible. I'll not say I won't. I'm tired of. I'm not going to mince words after 6 years of this bullshit.
No, Brad. I'm trying to be nice. It's 2022. Let's reach out I can't even say it without laughing. Let's reach out to
Yeah.
our conservative brethren and see what they say.
No, just like I said,
fuck
I'll
those
take in one hand here, I have a shitload of cynicism, and in the other hand, I have what's that? It's more cynicism. Let's just mash it together and double down.
It's more like in this hand you have one a pile of cynicism represented by one chicken patty, and in the other you have cynicism represented by yet another chicken patty with a slice of cheese on it, and you smash them together to double down. I cannot believe people eat that. That's insane. You're gonna die
For years.
For years, that is.
For years.
Hey, what kind of sandwich is that? Oh, the chicken is the sandwich. Oh, okay. You're a fucking monster. Stop doing it. You're just a fucking
And I can tell you from personal experience, it's not very good. So
yeah, and you shouldn't know from personal experience. What the fuck is wrong with you? Get out of here.
yeah. Well, like when it first came out, like you everyone was curious. Like I don't, for you kids out there, I don't know if you guys remember the zeitgeist that surrounded the introduction of the double down sandwich at KFC. Like
Not a sandwich,
like,
yo. It's the middle of a sandwich. It's the middle of a fucking sandwich.
It was like a McRib to like the third power, essentially. Like that.
Yeah, on the fucking diabetes chart it is. It absolutely is. Get the fuck out of here. Don't do that. God damn it, America. Americans, as the joke goes, Americans eat like they have good health care. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Yeah, but look, in reality, New York Attorney General Tish James, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, Washington, D.C. District Attorney Carl Racine, Racine, and Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney Fannie Willis are all investigating Trump, among other things. Lying on financial documents. That's the big one for Tish James, which is exactly the same crime that Baltimore City State Attorney Marilyn Mosby, an African-American woman, was just indicted for. I don't need people to bring that up. That feels offensive. That's my city. So how about leaving us alone? Leave us alone. She in serious trouble.
I mean, a serious question about Baltimore City politics. Why is it that every prominent black woman that gets appointed or elected to a prominent position?
I don't know.
It's like
I don't know. I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
on?
Dude, it's been since like
on?
1995, yo. Like,
it's so crazy.
I don't know what's going on. Like, black women are 100% qualified to be on the Supreme Court, but they cannot be from Baltimore. Because if they're from Baltimore, they're corrupt. Do not pick a black woman in politics from Baltimore. They're all shady as fuck. I don't get it. I wish it were true. Like, shout out to Tiara, who's going to be listening to this and getting mad. But look, it's true. You guys are all corrupt. Like, all of it. But that goes to show you equality. Black women in Baltimore are just as capable of being corrupt as white men in Baltimore. And that's all I'm asking for, man. I'm just asking for equality. just asking for equality.
Equal corruption on both
Equal
sides.
corruption. Incidentally, I went to high school. Micah and I went to high school with her husband, Marilyn Mosby's husband. Uh-oh. He was a year ahead of us. So, and he's on city council. So,
yes.
And I think he's like kind of involved too. So, good luck with all that. Should be fun. Maybe we'll get him on the show. Hey, you want to talk?
Hey, Nick.
Hey, what's up, Nick? How you doing, man?
It's your buddy Jay from high school. Remember?
Like, I have a fledgling podcast, which like to plead your case. So yeah, look, I think Trump trying to use the race angle is nonsense. And look, to their credit, that's why they mentioned Marilyn Mosby. Like, she's a black woman, dude. The same thing happened to her. Like, yeah, you're corrupt. Like, it is what it is.
Well, and obviously, like, the bigger story is that he then was like, hey, if they come after me, like, you guys are going to take to the streets, right? I'm like, don't like that. Don't like that, considering what happened the last time. So,
yeah, I don't like that either. But here's the thing. That was the Capitol. You think you're going to go into, like, where are these places?
He said it, New York and Atlanta. I'm just like, I don't know if that's going to work out for you guys.
Okay. All right.
You can try it if you want.
You can try it if you want, man. You take white people out in the streets of Atlanta. Oh, we're going to tear shit up. Okay. Like, you been to Atlanta? Black Mecca? Okay. New York City? Okay. Yo, New Yorkers will fight you in the streets. Like, yo, you are wiling. You better hold one of those fucking rallies in fucking, Kissimmee, Florida or some fucking horseshit. Like, nah, you don't try. And they will. They're not going to hold it in New York. Yeah, we'll show them. What you going to do? It better be peaceful as fuck. Because if it's not, they're going to beat your ass in the middle of New York City like you deserve it.
Yeah, New York City has one of the most overfunded police forces in the entire fucking country.
I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about
the citizenry.
I'm talking about niggas who live in Brooklyn. That's what I'm talking about. Nah, yo. They will get on the 2-3 or whatever to go to Manhattan to beat your ass if they think shit is popping off. Get out of here. No, I know enough people in New York. No. DC? What part of DC? Southeast DC? No. Get out of here. No, you're not. New York,
we'll go to the Capitol
Atlanta.
Again. Like, yeah, we'll see how close to the door they let you get this time.
Look, I've said it on the show before. If you think you're going to go into another federal building on that bullshit, you're going to get shot. You're going to get shot. Look, they got a president now who's not going to prosecute a federal officer for shooting some fucking invader. Oh, did somebody try to break in the Capitol and, Bobby who works here shot him? Next? Who gives a fuck? That's your job. It's your job. So, Washington, D.C., New York, and Atlanta. Okay. You can try it if you want to, my man. Wouldn't recommend it. But go ahead. And I love that. In major cities. All major cities have tons and tons of minorities. This is the one place white people don't like to be. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's true. So,
you better, look, keep that shit in Wichita. Like, knock that shit off. Like, you ain't coming in no major city. Fuck out of here. Look, we should be investigating Mike Pence, says Donald Trump, which is weird.
Actually, it's Mike Pence who did the crime by not overturning the election.
Which is literally Trump's argument. That's literally his argument. Former President Donald Trump has urged congressional January 6th investigators to open up a probe against his former Vice President Mike Pence over his refusal to help Trump overturn the 2020 election. By the way, I have to read this quote because it is fucking hilarious. See if you catch the nonsense. This is from Trump. Quote, "So pathetic to watch the unselect committee of political hacks, liars, and traitors work so feverishly to alter the Electoral College Act so that the vice president cannot ensure the honest results of an election. When just 1 year ago, right? The unselect committee, what are you, 5?
I mean, that's his typical thing. Like, he's like, I'm so clever. I'm just going to take this words and make a play on it.
More like unselect. And everyone's like, whoa, you nailed it, Mr. President. Like, stop, dude. That's fucking pathetic. Like, that's seriously fucking pathetic. But that's Trump. I don't know, man. Dear Mike Pence, just give up the ghost. Go talk to the select committee and throw everything at their feet, man. Give it up.
I mean, all of your people already are. Like, I think his legal counsel testified yesterday before them. His chief of staff has testified. So he easily could if he wanted to.
I think
he's scared. I think he just wants to be quiet and left alone. Honestly, like I don't think
you're a
he
coward,
really wants
man.
to.
You're a coward.
He is. He's absolutely a coward.
And look, part of it I get, right? Trump's got a lot of psycho fans. They're fans, right? Short for fanatics. Like, they are fans. So I understand the fear. But at the same time, like, you have protection, dude. Like, you got Secret Service protection. You'll be fine. Say all that shit. Say it all, dude. I'd be like, look, we'll run you down the day, the weeks, the months going into this shit. Let me tell you everything. Talk about why you were standing on a loading dock in the Capitol with no protection because they locked your fucking accounts so your key cards wouldn't work. Talk about that shit. Like, we're not looking that shit up. Who disabled it? It's not that hard. I've seen a key card system. It's not that hard. Bob did it at 2:45 yesterday. Like, it's not that fucking hard. It's easy to figure out. Yeah, I would just be like, fuck it. He says that he hasn't talked to Trump since last summer. He don't fuck with you like that. Okay, cool. This guy is telling them to go after you now. How much of a fucking loser do you have to be before you go, you know what, fuck this guy? Again, I don't know what it's like as a member of society to just chug dick to a person who is kicking you in the face constantly. I just don't understand that. I don't get it.
Because they'll lose if they don't back him. That's the problem. Is that they're more worried about whatever shred of power that the Republican Party can hang on to, and they will thoroughly debase themselves to ensure that the Republican Party can maintain that shred of power. Doesn't matter who's at the head. Doesn't matter what he's done. Doesn't matter whether morally he's the guy that needs to be in charge. Like, that's all they care about, is just making sure that Republicans are in control, because they think somehow if they're in control that they can. Even after the 4 years of his presidency, they can like, oh, we can still rein him in. We can still point him in the direction we need to get this passed and get that passed. He's going to be there for
still believe this.
Yeah, like if he gets reelected, he will be back in there for 4 years, knowing that he doesn't have to run again, so he can just be on whatever wild shit he wants to. There's literally like no consequences. He's going to try his best to, use all the protection powers of the office to ensure that anything he does do, he's not able to be held accountable for after the fact.
And he will also, let's get real. He's not going to leave in 4 years. He's not.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, I should get a do-over because the Mueller investigation, he had already said that. He's already said
this
that.
This is basically my first term. I wasn't president 4 years before, and now I'm president again. And this was the first term, and now I get a second term. I can run again.
Yep.
And then we'll get a fun.
Or I shouldn't have to run. I should just be allowed to continue.
then we'll get a super fun constitutional call a constitutional convention for. Which will be fucking wild.
And Republicans will fucking back him.
What is it, the 22nd Amendment or whatever?
Right. But Republicans will back him. Like, if you think Republicans wouldn't back him to give him 8 years if he got reelected in 2024, you're wrong. They would 100% back him. They would come up with some rigmarole horse shit. Susan Collins would be like, well, fucking, what about Grover Cleveland? And be like, all right, like, fuck it. What are we even doing? Yeah. It's like, again, I just, it's insane just watching like a slide into a totalitarian government in real time. Yeah.
And people are just like, I'm not panicked at all. I'm like, this must have been what it was like in Italy and in the 1930s. Like, oh, cool.
Well, at least we have Wordle. And New York Times is like, you had Wordle.
That's right, you had Wordle.
You had. Okay, that's the end of the free portion for this week's episode of Look Forward. Make sure you go to lookforwardshow.com/premium. Sign up for premium content. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the full year.